Hey guys, it's Matt Myers here, owner of Flippers Diving in Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm going to take you on a sweet one today. Diving the USS Oriskany, shipwreck out of Pensacola, and we're doing it for science. That's right. It's either Florida Fish and Wildlife reached out to a couple buddies of mine that we all dive caves together and said, hey, we need some divers that can harvest some lionfish on the Oriskany, and we need people that are qualified and can go deep to get these fish. And so sure enough, they rounded up 4 of us. We packed up our rebreathers, scooters, and lionfish hunting gear and headed over to Pensacola to make this dive happen for our friends over at FWC. So really cool effort, and appreciate their support inviting us along on the dive. We're diving the USS Oriskany, which is a massive shipwreck. It's about 20 miles offshore Pensacola, and you can see right there that the beginning of the dive starts right around 100 feet. So it's a big boy dive for sure. I've been wanting to get out here for a couple of years. I feel like they just sunk it 2 or 3 years ago, and I did a little research. This thing went down in 2006, so we're creeping up on the 20th anniversary of the Oriskany going down. So some of you guys might be saying, I haven't heard of this, Rick. What is it, right? Let's give you a little background. So the USS Oriskany, it's an Essex-class aircraft carrier, launched originally back in 1945, and then it was decommissioned in 1976. So it had a pretty solid run, 30-ish years there. It's 888 feet long. It's 129 feet wide, and it drafts 30 feet. That's not the height. That's just how much draft it has under the waterline. So absolutely massive wreck. And it was turned into an artificial reef. It sat around for several decades, and a group of people got together and said, hey, this would look a whole lot better on the bottom. We can make a really cool dive site out of it. And so now it sits at a maximum depth of around 220 feet. The flight deck there, which is the big flat part on the top, that sits at around 145 feet. And the top of that tower, the flight control tower there, sits at about 80 feet. So really, really massive, amazing ship. So back to the dive, right? Dive starts at about 100 feet. And you're seeing my buddy there, Matt Hardiman. He's cruising down. He's been on this wreck a number of times before, so he's kind of got the inside scoop. And there's 3 of us on my immediate team here. So I got Matt ahead of me. We got another buddy, Fino, who's on his way down behind me. And all of us are diving rebreathers. We're all diving scooters. And we are loaded to the gills with Aquatic Hunt lionfish lockers. So Matt did this dive last year about the same time. And he was carrying a little zookeeper. And he started filling that thing up. And it was maxed out. And he couldn't get any more fish in. So this year, we thought we'd equip ourselves with the right containers and go back and harvest these fish for FWC. So you might ask, why is FWC doing this? What's the purpose behind collecting these fish? So what they want to understand is, what sort of impact does an artificial reef like the Oriskany, what sort of environmental impact does it have on these fish? Are there pollutants? Are there toxins? Are there things that the fish are eating that might negatively impact them, right? I'm not a scientist. I'm a lionfish hunter and a scuba diver. So I said, hey, I'm happy to help out. And so are my buddies. And we dropped in there to get these fish. So you'll notice Matt there, he's carrying 2 of the biggest Aquatic Hunt lionfish containers. It's the 30-inch containers. We all had them. You just need it for a dive like this, right? You're going at 200 feet, and you don't want to be stuck with a small container and realize, oh man, I didn't have enough space for all this, right? So we drop over the edge of the flight deck. We're at about 145. Now we're creeping down. We're at the stern of the ship, and we're at 200 feet before you know it. We're down by the props, and literally where we're at, and I apologize, the next couple minutes of video are a little rough because we are under the aircraft carrier, right? We are literally beneath the props, swimming up underneath this ship, which is where they've been seeing a lot of these giant lionfish and heavy populations. So we've definitely exceeded that 200-foot mark. So I see my first lionfish. 205 feet. Okay. Go hunting around, getting our equipment out. There's a lot going on. You're running a rebreather, you're driving a scooter, you're hunting these fish. And at first, I'm kind of struggling to find the fish, right? I'm an avid lionfish hunter. I feel like I can fill these containers up, and I'm just seeing them kind of sporadic. But what I found is they're actually hiding up in all those barnacles up on the underside of the ship. So it took me a little while to figure this out. Matt and Fino, they took the port side of the ship. So we basically split right when we hit the bottom. They took the port, I took the starboard. And so I kind of worked my way up along at the same level along that starboard side. And then eventually I ended up bubbling back and coming back towards where the props are and getting a little bit higher up where like the rudders and stuff are on the back of the ship. And that's where I was getting the most of my fish. Now,
oh yeah. Wow.
and the big one? There's a reason he's big, right? He's smart. He got away from me. So he went up under the ship, and with my back mount rebreather on, I could not fit under there to get after him. So kept going, kept hunting. You realize you're at 200 feet. The decompression obligation is going tick-tock, tick-tock. You are stacking up decompression. So your time is pretty limited, even on a rebreather, right? We're only carrying so much bailout gas. We've only got a certain anticipated run time that the charter operator is aware of. So we got to stay within that schedule. So our dive plan, we spent about 30 minutes at the max depth around that 200-foot mark. Got as many fish as we could, and then the next 30 minutes we spent progressively working our way along the shipwreck. I'm going here along the starboard side and just looking for fish shallow. Slowly making our way up, to shallower depth. So there we're at like 170. Here's a little bit of a fast forward just to kind of show you picking off all these fish on under the bottom side of the wreck in the darkness. So 30 minutes at max depth, 30 minutes for kind of your ascent phase, and then decompression, we're going to have upwards of an hour of decompression. So you can kind of see the tight timeline that we're on there. Now we're back, I think we're around the 150, 160 foot range here. And again, it's just me solo, and I'm working my way down the shipwreck looking for fish. Now, we are deeper than recreational limits, but the fish here get picked off, right? There's a lot of people that dive this wreck. It's an amazing site. It gets visited almost every day, weather dependent. And so you're not going to find a whole lot of lionfish in that 140 or shallower range. So to really cover some territory, we decided to use DPVs, which was a great idea because you got a ship that's over 800 feet long, right? And you want to be able to move if you need to move and minimize your exertion. So I'm diving a Genesis 3.1. This thing is the freaking Ferrari, Cadillac, whatever you want to call it, of DPVs. Everything is controlled by my one hand, just a flick of my thumb, and I can make that thing go, get up, move, stop, turn off, turn on. It's really a badass machine, and it's super quiet. I did manage to find a fish here, a little bit shallower. We're at the 140 range. You might be wondering about my configuration. I'm diving a Divesoft Liberty closed circuit rebreather. I've got everything back mounted, so my bailout is back mounted, my oxygen, my diluent, all that is on my back, with the exception of I have an aluminum 40 with some Trimix 1845 flung off my front side. But the reason I lean towards that configuration when I'm lionfish hunting is just to have a clean profile in the front. I got a lot going on anyway, right? Working the pull spear, lionfish containers. In this case, we added in a scooter. And if you can keep all that stuff behind you, in my opinion, that's really ideal to make you most efficient in the water. So we're working our way back to the anchor line. And man, I have got to give some credit to this dive operator. Thomas was the dive master that day, and that guy was on everything. You'll see here in just a minute. What I'm doing right now is I'm switching gases. So I was on 1845 at depth. That's a trimix with helium in it. I'm moving over to air because helium penalizes you. If I stayed on that helium mix all the way back to the surface, I would have a lot bigger, a lot longer decompression obligation. So by switching over to air, and I actually unplug from my helium supply and I plug into just literally a bottle of air, that way I can flush my loop out, get away from that helium. It's great at depth, but man, it's not your friend when it comes to decompression. But there's Thomas, man. This dive master is like the valet service for dive attendants. So big round of applause for Thomas. That guy freaking rocks. He's down there. I didn't even know he was going to be down there, but I'm at about 185 to 100 feet. And he's like, hey, give me all your containers. Give me your deco bottles. Give me anything you want to get rid of. It was like an angel coming down from heaven to say, give me all your heavy crap, and you can enjoy your hour of decompression without having to deal with all this stuff. So really, really high five to him. He's freaking amazing. Watch this next clip. He not only got my stuff, he went back down on a second dive and grabbed all the containers from the other guy. So man, Thomas, you are the man. Thank you for helping us out and ferrying all those lionfish lockers back to the surface. Man, I really do appreciate it. So we got an hour of decompression, and there was a pretty swift current that was kicking that day. You can see all the guys hanging on the anchor line, and you find out real quick that when you've got a lot of deco, you don't really want to be hanging and just clinging to this anchor line. It's kind of a pain in the ass, especially on CCR. So one thing I love about my Genesis, man, I don't even have to hold on to the anchor line. I just put that baby on cruise control. I can dial the speed to exactly how fast that current is, and these guys just kind of watched me the whole hour just doing laps. I'm just kind of making circles around everybody that's hanging on for their deco stop. So we're at a depth about 20 feet, and again, we burned up an hour. I'm not going to show you the whole hour, but man, it was beautiful, right? Great visibility. Current was a little bit to deal with, but not terrible. And we kind of mess around and have fun and play with each other while we're hanging out and burning up this time. That's my good buddy Jorg. Amazing rebreather instructor. That guy has more knowledge than you believe. So if you're looking for a great instructor, hit me up. I'll send you in the right direction. But there's Matt in the background, Matt Hardiman. He's on the Sidewinder CCR. We just passed Pheno. He's also on a Dive Soft Liberty. But that's what it took to get down there, get to that depth, and get the job done, right? We did have a number of other divers also affiliated with FWC. These are all the guys in the yellow shirts. They were doing shallower dives within, and within their training limits to also try to harvest lionfish. But I'll tell you, all the fish came from the deep guys. Between myself, Matt, Pheno, Jorg, all these guys were the ones getting the fish. So really, high five to the team for executing pretty much a flawless dive and a really awesome dive game. This wraps up the dive, and man, even just getting back up to the surface, Dive Master Thomas is sitting there ready to grab our gear as we get out of the water. Really, really awesome day. I want to thank Aquatic for making some phenomenal products. Those 30-inch lockers are absolutely money when it comes to hunting big lionfish. Come check us out, guys. flippersdiving.com. Get yourself a locker. Hit us up if we can help.